Okay, when a being becomes fully awakened, what happens to that being? Where do they go? When the polluted aggregates no longer exist, where does that awakened mind stream go? What is the continuation of that particular awakened mind stream? Where is it? Okay. So this question comes from a mind like ours that is very involved with the external world and sense objects, and so we always think of where is something, and we're always thinking of it, some kind of objective external reality someplace, and we should be able to find the Buddha somewhere. So this kind of question kind of assumes that, but the Buddha, the answer to the question doesn't fit in with that kind of assumption. We have to broaden our mind in many, many ways. So what happens to the Buddha after he attains parinirvana is a topic of great discussion. It has been for many centuries. So, and different people, have different assertions about that. In the Pali Canon, the Buddha is not very specific exactly what happens to the mind stream. As Bhikkhu Bodhi usually says, it gets nibbana-ized. And, the person, is nibbana-ized and remains in nibbana, which is not a place. It's not, you go 3 clouds up and turn right. Nirvana is not a physical place. It's a mental state. And mental states, we can't say exist in any particular place. Okay? According to the Mahayana tradition, the Buddha's, the continuity of the Buddha's mind continues, and the person that we see as Shakyamuni Buddha was one manifestation or one appearance of an enlightened mind, but there's many more appearances. So that kind of appearance or manifestation, fizzles, I can't say fizzles out, appears to die, but the Buddha's mind is such that out of compassion and the force of wisdom, and the bodhicitta to lead all beings to full awakening, then the Buddha will naturally and instinctively, effortlessly make many other manifestations in order to benefit sentient beings. So it isn't like when Shakyamuni is alive, Shakyamuni Buddha is alive, there's no other Buddhas or no other manifestations. There are many other manifestations. And so these continue on, and more appear even after the presence of, the wheel-turning Buddha in our world has ceased. Okay, so that probably is not a satisfactory answer to the person who asked the question, but it's the best I can do. But I must say, what is I think a more important question is, where do we go when we die? Yeah, that's a much more important question. What happens to our mind stream? Yeah, what are we going to be reborn as? Yeah, because that's something that is very crucial, and we may be faced with that before the end of the day. We don't know. And so to consider, that our future rebirths are influenced by our karma, the actions we've done in this life and previous lives. Consider our ethical discipline, our ethical conduct, which is going to be the principal cause of a good rebirth. And how much have we adhered to that? How much have we gone beyond it? Consider the kindness and love and compassion with which we treat other beings, because that's also going to create karma. which will help us have a good rebirth. So I think, the question that is really more essential for us is, where do we go when this body ceases? When the mind stream of this life is the mind stream of this life stops, but the continuity of the mind continues on. And what does our karma create for us? And that's something that's important that we must pay a lot of attention to, which is the whole topic of all of, it involves, well, it's not the whole topic of all the Dharma teachings, but it's a good chunk. Yeah. So on Thursday nights I've been teaching Nagarjuna's Precious Garland, and that book has two main themes. One is upper rebirth, one is highest good. And so the upper rebirth pertains to this topic of what happens to us at the time of death and how we can control that. And then, of course, the topic of upper rebirth, of highest good, is how do we go beyond rebirth and cyclic existence and attain liberation and awakening.